Hello students. So in this class I will start the new chapter limits. What is meant by limit? Before start the limits, first of all I want to explain the intervals. Here intervals plays main role, and in the previous class functions I have explained different types of intervals. So once I remember that, I want to explain second time. The topic is limits. So this is the 1B paper chapter, and this is the continuation part. If you know limits properly and perfectly, then the next concept is continuity, and again differentiability, differentiation, applications of differentiation. This is the continuation topics. So that's why every student listen carefully and write notes properly and read again and again, read the formulas. So see the topic limits. In the limits, first I want to explain the definition of intervals. So we know that every interval is a set. Every interval is a set. That means it is open interval or closed interval or clopen interval. Clopen interval is closed, open, open, closed. First of all, this is called open interval AB. The elements in open interval A comma B is of the form x belongs to R such that A less than x less than B. So open interval A comma B is the set of all elements lies between A and B except A comma B, and this is the closed interval A comma B equal to set of x belongs to R such that A less than or equal to x less than or equal to B. A less than or equal to x less than or equal to B. Okay. So this is also a set, and also this set contains all elements lies between A and B including A and B, and this interval is always subset of this one. Okay. Both intervals are equal, and also here A and B are excess elements. That's why this interval is subset of this interval. Next, open A, closed B. Open A, closed B. This is equal to set of x belongs to R such that A less than x less than or equal to B. A less than x less than or equal to B. And next one is closed A, open B. This is equal to set of x belongs to R such that A less than or equal to x less than B. Am I right? A less than or equal to x less than B. Now ray open A to infinitive. This is the ray starts from A to infinitive. This is equal to x belongs to R such that A less than or equal to x. A less than or equal to, so if it is closed, starts from A to up to infinitive. Next, so next one is minus infinitive to A. This is the left ray. This is equal to set of x belongs to R such that x less than or equal to A. X less than or equal to A. And also see, remember that minus infinitive to plus infinitive is the R. R means set of all real numbers. R means set of all real numbers. R means set of all real numbers. And next one is every interval is a set. Every interval is a set. Every interval is a neighborhood. What is meant by neighborhood? Neighborhood means if you take a real line like this, this is minus infinity, this is plus infinity. Let us take an element on the real line. This is point A. Neighborhood means it is the set of all points from left and right at equal distance, like this. Suppose this is the point and this is the point. These 2 points are equal distance from A, from left and from right. Let us take this distance is A. Okay. So from left, you are going to select the element from left, then this distance will be decreased. That's why this point is A minus delta, and this is the point and this is the point. Here distance will be increased. That's why this is the point A plus delta. This is called the neighborhood of all. So the set of all elements of A in lies between the distance A delta, A minus delta comma A plus delta is called neighborhood of A. Is called neighborhood of A. Is denoted by NBD of A. Is denoted by neighborhood of A. So neighborhood of A equal to A minus delta comma A plus delta, and also these are the elements x such that A minus delta less than x less than A plus delta. Okay. So this is equal to x such that, now adding through inequality A minus A, then we get minus delta less than x less than plus delta equal to, this is equal to x such that mod x is less than delta. Mod x is less than delta. That means minus delta less than x less than delta. So that means mod x is less than delta. Okay, students? Minus add here mod x minus a. If you add here minus a, then we minus delta less than x minus a less than delta. So by using the Weyukar process, this value is mod x minus a is less than delta. Mod x minus a is less than delta. So this is the neighborhood of A. And one more thing, neighborhood means if you take a real line, like this, this is the real line, and this is the 0, 1, 2, 3, and minus 1 and minus 2 like this. So neighborhood of 0 always lies between minus 1 and 1. If you take any element, neighborhood of any element always lies between the before element and next element. Okay. So it's called successor and predecessor. And also neighborhood of 2 always lies between 1 and 3. Neighborhood of 2 always lies between 1 and 3. At the same time, neighborhood of minus 1 is always lies between minus 2 and 0. And this is the neighborhood points. When you take the real line, if you take an integer line, so if you take an integer line, there is no neighborhood points. 0, 1, 2. If you take a point 1, so what are the neighborhood points of 1? 0, empty center. Its center point is 1. There is no elements for a integer line. If you take a real line, so there are infinitely many points in neighborhood point. Neighborhood. This is the neighborhood. Okay. Neighborhood means neighbor, just like as a neighbors. Okay. Neighbors. So every neighborhood of 1 always lies between 0 and 2, and every neighborhood of minus 1 lies between minus 2 and 0. Neighborhood of 0 lies between minus 1 and 1. Neighborhood of 2 always lies between 1 and 3. Okay, students, this is the neighborhood concept. Okay. Deleted neighborhood. So deleted neighborhood means If you take a real line, this is minus infinitive, this is plus infinitive. If you take a point A, then select the points from minus delta distance to plus delta distance. Minus delta distance means delta is positive. So that's why if you take a distance delta, then the left point is A minus delta and the right point is A plus delta. This is the neighborhood of A. Now eliminate the center point A from this neighborhood. That means A minus delta comma A plus delta minus singleton A. This is called the deleted neighborhood of A. This is called the deleted neighborhood of A. This is called the deleted neighborhood of A. So in the interval notation, it can be written as, so first collect the left parts union right points from A to A plus delta except A. That means A minus delta comma A union A to A plus delta. This is called the deleted neighborhood. Okay. So if it is integer line, deleted neighborhood is empty set. If you take a real line, there are infinitely many points. By using the density point, if you take any real line, there are, if you take any, this is the real line, this is the A and B 2 points on the real line. If this is an rational number and this is an rational number, by using density property, there are infinitely many irrational numbers lies between, there are infinitely many irrationals between two rational numbers. At the same time, this is the real line, this is irrational number and also this is also an irrational number. There are infinitely many rational numbers between two irrational numbers. This is called the density property. Now by using joining of these two properties, we get this is the real number and also this is a number. There are infinitely many real numbers. So by using this one, this is the deleted neighborhood of A. If it is an integer line, deleted neighborhood set is empty set except A. So deleted neighborhood means set of all points on the real line at a delta distance from left and right except A. This is called the deleted neighborhood of A. Now limit point. See, limit is different from limit point. First listen, definition of limit point. So already explained here, deleted neighborhood. This is the deleted neighborhood. If deleted neighborhood is non-empty, that means A minus delta comma A plus delta minus A is non-empty. Then we say that A is the limit point of domain of F. Domain of F means if you take a function F S to R, where S is an aggregate. Aggregate means any non-empty subset of R is called an aggregate. Where A is limit, then A is limit point of S. See once again, limit point definition. Let us take the function F S to R. That means S is the domain of F. If A minus delta comma A minus A plus delta minus A not equal to 5, then we say that A is the limit point of S. Before find the limit, wherever you have to find the limit, the point must be limit point of domain of F. Otherwise we are unable to find the limit of the function. See, so that is the main role of the limit point. Here I explained three consecutive definitions. First one is neighborhood, deleted neighborhood and limit point. Okay student, once again listen to me the definition of limit point. Let F_S_R be a mapping. Let F_S_R be a mapping where S is the domain of F. If deleted neighborhood is non-empty, if deleted neighborhood is non-empty, then we say that A is the limit point of S. Okay, limit point. Let F_S_R be a mapping. Let S be an aggregate. Let S be an aggregate. Let S be an aggregate. And F_S_R be a mapping. F_S_R be a mapping. F_S_R be a mapping. If A minus delta comma A plus delta minus A is non-empty, then A is called limit point. Then A is called limit point of S. Then A is called limit point of S. Let S be an aggregate, F_S_R be a mapping. If A minus delta comma A plus delta minus A non-empty, then A is called the limit point of S. And also limit is different from limit point. We always find the limit at limit point. Okay, we always find the limit at limit point. Always find the limit at the limit point. Always find the limit at the limit point. Now I want to explain the definitions. Left limit, right limit. How to define the left limit and right limit? Limit of a function. Limit of a function. Limit of a function. Limit of a function. Let S be an aggregate. Let S be an aggregate. Let S be an aggregate. F_S_R be a mapping. F_S_R be a mapping. Let us be an aggregate, F_S_R be a mapping. And small a is limit point of S. Limit point of S. See from this diagram, this is the A and this is the domain. This is the domain. So this is A minus delta and this is A plus delta. This is the function and this is again real line. Okay, and this is L. L belongs to R. So if X lies between left neighborhood, if X lies between A minus delta to A, then all elements, all images, when X lies between A minus delta to A, always lies between the neighborhood of L. That means L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon, where epsilon is the positive real number. See, once again listen to me. So where A is the limit point of domain of F. Here X lies between the left neighborhood. X moves in the left neighborhood. So when X lies between the left neighborhood, all images always lies between the neighborhood of L. This is the neighborhood of L. So here delta represents the domain and variable positive real number. Here delta is also a positive real number and epsilon also a positive real number. But for representation convenience, here in the range. That's why if L exists when x lies in the left neighborhood, then we say that L is the left limit of f at A. Then we say that L is the left limit of f. That is x belongs to A minus delta comma A. This implies, but f of x belongs to L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon. Okay, that is A minus delta less than x less than A implies L minus epsilon less than f of x less than L plus epsilon. So this implies, now adding both sides minus L, then we get minus epsilon less than f of x minus L less than plus epsilon. So by using wavy curve method, modulus of f of x minus L less than epsilon, since mod x less than A double implies minus A less than x less than A. Okay. So this is the interval notation form. So here define the left limit of f at A. For any epsilon greater than 0, here epsilon is a positive real number. Therefore, for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0 such that A minus delta less than x less than A. Then this implies modulus of f of x minus L. Then we say that L is the left limit of f at A. Then we say that L is the left limit of f at A. It is denoted by limit x tends to A minus f of x equal to L. It is denoted by limit x tends to A minus. Limit x tends to A minus means x lies in the left neighborhood. So symbolically it is always less than x less than A. If limit x tends to A minus, is always less than x less than A. It always x less than A. This is the left limit definition. Now we are going to the right limit. Right limit definition means this is the domain, this is A, and this is A minus delta, and this is A plus delta, and this is the function f, and this is L, and this is L minus epsilon, this is L plus epsilon. These are all f of x values. Okay. So here for any epsilon greater than 0, that means here we observe that x lies in the left neighborhood. Here x lies in the right neighborhood. If x lies in the right neighborhood, if there exists L, then L is the right limit. If x lies in the left neighborhood, if there exists L, then L is the left limit. Now we are going to explain the right limit. That's why x lies in the right neighborhood of A. This is right neighborhood of A. So that means x belongs to A comma A plus delta. This implies f of x belongs to L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon. This implies L minus epsilon less than f of x less than L plus epsilon. Now adding both sides minus L. Minus epsilon less than f of x minus L less than epsilon. This implies modulus of f of x minus L less than epsilon. This implies modulus of f of x minus L less than epsilon. So finally write the definition. For any epsilon greater than 0, there exists for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0. For any epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0 such that x belongs to a comma a plus delta implies modulus of f of x minus L less than epsilon. Then we say that L is the right limit of f. Then we say that L is the right limit of f. Then we say that L is the right limit of f. It is denoted by limit x tends to a plus f of x equal to L. Limit x tends to a plus f of x equal to L. Limit x tends to a plus means x lies in the right neighborhood. If x lies in the right neighborhood, what is the relation between x and a? X greater than a. Okay, students? Okay. Here I explained left limit of f and right limit of f. If left limit of f exists and right limit of f exists, then we say that limit of the function is exist. Okay. See, this is the neighborhood of a. Here x lies in the either left neighborhood or whatever is right neighborhood. This is the function f and this is the real number L and this is L minus epsilon. This is L plus epsilon. This is f of x. Okay. So here a is the limit point of f and this is the neighborhood of a. This is the neighborhood of a. So for any epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0 such that x belongs to a minus delta comma a plus delta implies f of x belongs to L minus epsilon comma L plus epsilon. Okay, that implies L minus epsilon less than f of x less than L plus epsilon. This implies minus epsilon less than f of x minus L less than epsilon. This implies modulus of f of x minus L less than epsilon. So x belongs to a minus delta comma a plus delta. That means a minus delta less than x less than a plus delta, and that is minus delta less than x minus a less than delta, and that is mod x minus a less than delta. So for any epsilon greater than 0, there is delta greater than 0 such that mod x minus a less than delta implies mod f of x minus L. Then we say that L is the we say that L is the limit of f at a. It is denoted by limit extends to a, f of x equal to L. Okay. And at the same time I explained left limit, one sided limits, left limit, right limit and both sided limits. So next, if limit extends to a, f of x equal to L exists, double implies limit extends to a minus f of x equal to L and exist, limit extends to a minus f of x equal to L and limit extends to a f of x equal to L. Limit extends to a f of x equal, when it is true this one is true, if it is true this one is true. So limit exists, then left limit and right limit both exist. If right limit and left limit exist and equal, then limit is exist. So here limit extends to a, f of x equal to L means where a is the limit point, and L is the limit. Okay, L is the limit, and that means always we find the limit at the limit point. Okay, where a is the limit point of domain of f, domain of f. Okay. Next, some in every time both left and right limit exist, may not be equal, sometimes equal. Now I want to explain some problem. See, f r to r defined by f of x equal to integral part of x, greatest integer function. Then find limit extends to 2 f of x equal to how much? Okay, f r to r defined by f of x equal to integral part of x, then limit extends to 2 f of x equal to how much? So first find the left limit. Find the limit extends to 2 minus f of x. Limit extends to 2 minus f of x equal to limit extends to 2 minus, that means x less than 2, okay, than to f of x. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, x less than 2. If x less than 2 means this is here x. Then in this case integral part of x equal to 1, because by the definition of integral part of x we should take before integer, this is the greatest integer. That's why if x less than 2, this is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus integral part of x equal to this one. When x less than 2, integral part of x equal to 1. So at the same time limit x tends to 2 plus f of x equal to limit x tends to 2 plus, x tends to 2 plus means x greater than 2. Here x lies between 2 and 3. When x greater than 2, what is the before integer? 2. That's why integral part of x, this is equal to 2. So here we observe that 1 is the left, minus represent the left, plus represent the right. Here 1 is the left limit of f at 2, okay, and here 2 is the right limit of f at 2. So left limit exists, right limit exists, but both are not equal. That's why limit does not exist. Limit does not exist. Therefore, limit extends to 2 minus f of x is not equal to limit extends to 2 plus f of x. Limit extends to 2 minus f of x not equal to limit extends to 2 plus f of x. Not equal. Both are not equal. That's why when both are not equal, limit does not exist. Limit extends to 2. Integral part of x does not exist. Not only at 2. For a fractional part of x, that means greatest integer function, limit does not exist at any integer, not only at 2. For this function, limit does not exist not only at integer, limit does not exist at every integer. For a fractional part of x, for a greatest integer function, or step function or force function, limit does not exist for all integers. Limit does not exist for all integers. Right down. Next. So limit does not exist for a greatest integer function at all integers. So this is note point. Limit does not exist. Limit does not exist. Limit does not exist of a greatest integer function of greatest integer function at all integers, okay. Limit does not exist of greatest integer function at all integers, okay. Limit does not exist of greatest integer function at all integer. Next, so in the limits concept, already we learned some trigonometric formulas, just like a sin of a plus b, sin of a minus b, cos of a plus b, cos of a minus b, tan of a plus b, tan of a minus b, cot of a plus b, cot of a minus b, sin 2a, cos 2a, tan 2a, sin 3a, cos 3a, and tan 3a, sin c plus sin d. Now I will write some important formulas, because in the limit concept we have more than 50% trigonometric concept based problems. We use the formulas. Just 1 second, write the formulas and read properly, and also repeat in trigonometry also. So important formulas in limits. Sin of a plus b, equal to sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Sin of a plus b equal to sin a cos b plus cos a sin b. Sin of a minus b equal to sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Sin of a minus b equal to sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Next, cos of a plus b equal to cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. Cos of a minus b equal to cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Okay. Cos of a minus b equal to cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Next, tan of a plus b equal to tan A plus tan B by tan A plus tan B by 1 minus tan A tan B. 1 minus tan A tan B. Okay. Next, tan of A minus B. Tan of A minus B equal to tan A minus tan B by 1 plus tan A tan B. 1 plus tan A tan B. Next, cot of A plus B. Cot of A plus B equal to cot A cot B minus 1 by cot A plus cot B. And next one is cot of A minus B. Cot of A minus B equal to cot A cot B plus 1 by cot B minus cot A. Cot B minus cot A. Okay. Next formula is sin 2A. Sin 2A equal to 2 sin A cos A. Next, cos 2A equal to cos square A minus sin square A. Next, tan 2A equal to 2 tan A by 1 minus tan square A. 2 tan A by 1 minus tan square A. Next, cot 2A. Cot 2A equal to cot square A minus 1 by 2 cot A. Okay. Cot A. Let us put A equal to be cot square A minus 1 by 2 cot A. Next, sin 3A. Sin 3A equal to 3 sin A minus 4 sin cube A. Next one is cos 3A equal to 4 cos cubed A minus 3 cos cube A. 4 cos cube A minus 3 cos A. Sin 3 equal to 3 sin A minus 4 cos cube A and cos 3 4 cos cube A minus 3 cos A. Next, tan 3A equal to 3 tan A minus tan cube A by 1 minus 3 tan square A. 1 minus 3 tan square A. Okay, students, write down. And also these are very important formulas. So compound angles, these are complete compound angles, these are the multiple angles. Okay, write down. And I have some more formulas, 4 or 5. Next, continue the class. So first of all, write and read the formulas. Okay, next formulas, CD formulas. These are also very important formulas. Sin C plus sin D equal to 2 sin C plus D by 2 into cos C minus D by 2. Sin C plus sin D equal to 2 sin C plus D by 2 cos C minus D by 2. And next one is sin C minus sin D equal to 2 cos C plus D by 2 into sin C minus D by 2. Okay. Next, cos C plus cos D. Cos C plus cos D equal to 2 cos C plus D by 2 into cos C minus D by 2. 2 cos C plus D by 2 into cos C minus D by 2. And next one is cos C minus cos D equal to minus 2 sin C plus D by 2 and sin C minus D by 2. Minus 2 sin C plus D by 2 and sin C minus D by 2. These are the CD formulas. And now discuss the limit of the signature function at 0. Now examine the limit of the signature function at 0. Limit of signature function at 0. I already explained in the previous class what is the definition of signature function and domain of the signature function, range graph of the signature function also explained. Here see, this is the signature function. F of x equal to mod x by x when x not equal to 0. This is equal to 0 when x equal to 0. Here examine that limit of f of x at 0. So examine means first of all you have to find the left limit at 0 and then right limit at 0. First find the left limit. So left limit of f at 0 means limit limit at 0 denotes limit extends to 0 minus, not minus 0. 0 minus means left limit at 0 of f of x. This is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus means x less than 0. What is the function? Mod x by x. Okay. So when x less than 0, what is the value of mod x? Minus x. That's why this is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus x by x. So constant limit is itself. That's why we have only minus 1. Now we are going to right limit of f of x at 0. So limit x tends to 0 plus f of x equal to limit x tends to 0 plus mod x by x. This is equal to limit x tends to 0 plus means x greater than 0. So x greater than 0 means mod x equal to x. That's why this value is 1. So left limit is minus 1 and right limit is plus 1. Therefore limit x tends to 0 minus f of x is not equal to limit x tends to 0 plus f of x. Okay. Therefore limit x tends to 0 f of x does not exist at 0. Limit does not exist at x equal to 0. Okay students. Now for a polynomial function, if you take any polynomial function, so let p of x is a polynomial. Let p of x be a polynomial. Let p of x be a polynomial function. Already explained the definition of a polynomial function. Polynomial function of degree n. Okay, degree n. Then p of x equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube plus 1 an x power n. Then p of x equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus a3x cube plus 1 an x power n. Now find the limit x tends to a p of x. This is equal to limit x tends to a p of x. a0 plus a1x plus a2x square plus 1 an x power n. This is equal to a0 plus a1a plus a2 into a square plus a3 into a cube plus 1 an into a power n. But this is also equal to p of a. Now we can apply the direct limit. Limit extends to a means replace x with a. Therefore, limit extends to a. Therefore, limit extends to a. P of x equal to P of a. Okay, write down. Now, some more limit properties. So, limit properties of limits. Properties of limits. Properties of limits. Limit extends to a. Limit extends to a f of x equal to L, and limit extends to a g of x equal to m. Limit extends to a f of x equal to L, comma, limit extends to a g of x equal to m. Then limit extends to a f plus g of x equal to limit extends to a f of x plus limit extends to a f of x plus g of x. This is equal to limit extends to a f of x plus limit extends to a g of x. That means this is equal to L plus m. Okay. Next, at the same time, limit extends to a f minus g of x. This is equal to, by using the properties of functions, f of x minus g of x. Okay. So, it can be separated the limit. So, limit extends to a f of x minus limit extends to a g of x. This is equal to L minus m. Okay. Now, limit extends to a limit extends to a kf of x equal to limit extends to a k into f of x. So, here k constant. First write the k into limit extends to a f of x equal to k into L. Am I right? So, k into L. Next, limit extends to a f by g of x. This is equal to limit extends to a f of x by g of x. This is equal to limit extends to a f of x divided by limit extends to a g of x. This is equal to L by m. So, limit extends to a f by g of x equal to limit extends to a f of x by g of x. This is equal to L by m. Okay, students? These are the minimum basic properties of limits. So, limits is very easy concept. First of all, in this class, we remember that what is neighborhood, what is the deleted neighborhood, what is the limit point, what is the limit. 4 are very important definitions. If you are not understand the 4 definitions, no problem. Directly we can solve any problem. Just substitute the value. So, limit extends to a f of x equal to L means replace x with a, then you get an answer. No need to any concept. No need to learn any definitions. But we can directly solve. But in some mains question, we need some basic concepts how to find the limit and what is the limit point. So, it necessary. That's why learn basically concept. If we learn basic concepts of the limit, then we can solve any problem. and in the next class we can have explained different types of limit problems and how to solve the questions and some more important theorems on the limits and some more basic problems of the limits. Okay students, thank you.